Okay, now we all know that with MarzGurl, she has a nasty habit of stalking and spying Vic on Vic with his Twitch streams, and then when he announces a con that he's going to be a part of, she'll rally her mob to basically demand and in a lot of cases threaten the con to rescind the contracts. I mean, to rescind the contracts and blacklist him, pushing the same bullshit lie. But like I said, Kaylin, one of these days, people are going to get so fed up with it, they're going to turn on you. I mean, that letter you ignored and thought you were above, it proves that this has never been in about Vic. It's never been about stopping pedophiles. It's never been about standing up for victims. It's been about you and you alone. You trying to absolve yourself of the Jew Wario cover up, but you only end up making things worse by getting yourselves involved in aiding and abetting in bigger industry wide pedophilia based cover ups. Road to hell is paved with good intentions, am I right? At least I try to space mine out. Out, Evie. Made even worse that when Farah Fatherless, or whatever her real name is, I'll just call her Farah, basically decided to stab Vic in the back, all because he did not want to bang her. The old knows me senpai yandere not getting what she wants archetype. Or as I like to have coined it based on Akame ga Kill, for the record, Vic was not involved in the voice cast over this one, despite the fact it coming out in 2014. I double checked for those wondering. The Esdeath complex. You know how Esdeath was a psycho hose beast, survival of the fittest is complex, leader of the Imperial Jaegers. But when she lays her eyes on Tatsumi, she falls head over heels for him. The problem is, in both the anime and manga, and the novels by proxy, Tatsumi wants nothing to do with Esdeath because she's a grade A psycho. Emphasis on grade A psychopath. And in many ways, that's what both MarzGurl and Farah were. Although the difference is that MarzGurl's a tsundere who just wants to flat out destroy him because she doesn't like him. She's never even met the guy. She just goes based on what some of the others at Crunchy say, and then use that as a base for a means to an end to help them get rid of him. Again, aiding and abetting in massive cover-ups, in a massive cover-up of Crunchyroll's own crimes. Farah, on the other hand, is doing this out of a mad fit of jealousy towards Vic's girlfriend, whoever that is now, if he is dating any. Anyway, it shows that many people like this should not have the levels of social media clout or influence that they should have. Especially when they're people pleasers, whether they serve crooked masters or whether they serve themselves. Either way, they're aiding and abetting in cover ups. That's all there is to it. As a bonus, I will discuss what took Jamie Marchi so long to force Vic to pay up the legal fees he owes her. Well, it's an obvious reason not related to the case. Oh, fair enough. Anyway, as for what was the reason Vic took so long to pay Jamie that was not related to the case, give you a guess. It shut down the world for almost half a year. Yeah, COVID. Because of that, Jamie couldn't get the funds and get the money off of him. Newsflash, Jamie, you could have. And as much as I don't like to slander Vic or give advice to the enemy, I'm going to be blunt. Jamie, you could have done this before the pandemic hit. Or as I call it, the scam-demic. Because that's what it is in the end. Or what has been proven to be in the end. The pandemic was nothing more than a massive scam. And who did it line the pockets of? Government officials and executives of various pharmaceutical companies. But that said, that's the only reason she didn't get the money. She didn't ask for the money until now. And she didn't push the courts to make Vic pay up until now. But like I said, given how much the courts have been sweeping this case under the rug, swept the case under the rug, do you think they're really going to enforce Vic to enforce? They're going to enforce this payment call? Odds are not likely. But getting back on topic, but then again, personally, I view it as a matter of time until Crunchyroll gets their comeuppance. What do I mean? Well, it's simple. One of President Trump's personal. Yeah, that's the other issue. I think I don't. I mean, that most people don't like with Farah. Even members of Kickvick agree to this. Farah is not one of them. She's a loner, hated by both sides because she's doing it to appease herself and no one else. But then again, most members of Kickvick don't even believe that they're doing it to appease their own egos or get clout either. They believe they're doing it for a just cause. But again, road to hell paved with good intentions scenario. They fail to realize they're aiding and abetting in bigger cover-ups, in bigger industry-wide cover-ups involving pedophilia, child pornography, adultery, grooming, stalking, etc. Crunchyroll is basically allowing them to project their own crimes, and I mean Crunchyroll's, not the Kickvick mobs, it's not the mob of Kickvick itself, onto him. At least that's how I see it. The fact that MarzGurl has no remorse for doing essentially something that would get her thrown in a loony bin Then Vic filed a lawsuit for invasion of privacy on MarzGurl, which, in my opinion, he should, as well as torturous interference with a career and lifestyle. She being the Who Scout just like that, but then again, in the state of California, she'd get out pretty quickly, given that Gavin Newsom is a Soros-backed sycophant. But in 426 days, when everyone goes to paper ballots, hand count, and the National Guard, keeping an eye on the election, let's just say once Trump's back in office, funding cuts all around on Crunchyroll. Granted, it's predominantly towards it'll be towards companies and corporations. I mean, those funding cuts are going to be inflicted on companies that enforce mask and vax mandates on their employees. But I think it also should be enforced on companies who have a history of covering up pedophilic behavior. And of course, violations of ESGs. To mention the ESG pillars, which have proven to do far more harm than good. I'm not going to bother saying what I normally say at the end of these particular videos. Because with this one, and social cred scores. As we're getting a little too far down the rabbit hole with this. As we're going a little too far down the rabbit hole, so to speak, in certain spots. Leave a comment, smash a like, and sub to the channel. This is Mets228 signing out. Goodbye. Good fucking night. Bang.